welcome back to the Blissful Heart channel. I am Desiree Lee, and I am here to give you a weekly bliss fix for the collective twin flames for the week of November 1st to November 7th, 2018. Hi, Blissful Hearters. It's been so long since I've been here to record, and happy Halloween, by the way. I feel like I have never been more anxious for a year to turn. 2018 has been proving to be incredibly challenging, but, I feel a change in the wind, and I got my booty on this chair and clicked record. Some of you know that I've been doing some live videos, and I'm really excited about doing that, and I will continue to do those. For those of you that are Patreons to me, thank you so much for your continual support. I know that I missed the mark in October, so I'm coming at you live on Halloween with a live November twin flame reading, something that I've not done before, and I'm really excited to be giving you. So I will be showing up on Patreon for my $1 subscribers to do that live November overview, and I will also have like a Q&A available after the reading is done. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure to check the link in the description box below. As for our reading today, we have a new moon in Scorpio coming up on November 7th, so the last day of this week, which means that the energy is not only going to be a part of this week's reading, but fingers crossed that I'm able to record for next week, and it'll be a part of next week's reading as well. I know I said I wasn't going to do twin flame readings anymore, but I just felt really inspired to just do a twin flame collective reading. So this is primarily for people that aren't in physical union, but I didn't preface it with spirit. I just said the collective twin flame reading, what do they need to hear? Okay. As I know from people that have been ordering from me, a lot of divine feminines are kind of like whatever with their divine masculine, and that's perfect. I actually am kind of seeing some of that happening this week. Like I really feel like in terms of what the divine feminine is doing with her life, she or he is really on this space of like, I'm taking care of me, I'm doing what I'm going to do, I'm loving myself, I'm following my dreams, and I love that. I'm just so happy for all of you that have been able to finally, surmise the strength to just go, I'm taking care of me and whatever with you, and so we do see some interesting shifts taking place with the divine masculine. Interestingly enough, I do feel like a lot of it is about karmic relationships for the divine masculine, but we will let you decide what you think that is. So yeah, we have that Scorpio new moon, and it's all about this idea of embracing our dark and seeking this idea of balance and taking action in terms of like getting some final movement. And I thought it was really interesting when I was researching this, because I feel like this whole year has been about me balancing my dark and light energy, being that I came into union in August of last year. And I've definitely been, kind of experimenting or exploring dark and light and removing judgments about one being better than the other, and giving myself like some freedom from the YouTube channel. And I think this is definitely, we're going to be feeling a lot of peace as we shift towards the tail end of this year. I felt it this morning, and I'm so excited about it, and I just decided to catch that wave and get on it, because every time I feel this, it kind of dips back down again, and I'm really hopeful, fingers crossed, that doesn't happen again. So all that being said, I miss you guys, and I love you, and I'm super happy to be back. Let's get started, yeah? So for the union overall energy, I intended to pull one card from a new deck I have called the Moonology Oracle, and the deck gave me two cards, and I decided, to keep them, obviously. And when I pulled the secondary cards for both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, it made a lot of sense. So I feel, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying, where I do feel like both the divine masculine and divine feminine are kind of in two different tracks right now. You're both moving forward, as all humanity is, but we're in that two different track space, okay? So I'm going to pull all those cards up on the screen right now. We have Surrender to the Divine, the full moon card for the divine masculine, and Cardinal Moon, Be Bold and Make the First Move for the divine feminine. The accompanying card for the divine masculine is Ma Spirit. This is from the Spirit Animals Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. It's number 39, which is a 12 or a 3. Okay, and we do see a lot of 3s in this week. And it's that Ma Spirit, which I love. And then for the divine Divine Feminine's spirit animal, we have lizard spirit. Dream the world into being, card 38, note 3839, and that is card 11. Yeah. We love that 11. Yeah, it's a super number. We don't break it down. So the full moon, surrender to the divine, I feel is so interesting for the divine masculine, and I honestly felt a lot of divine feminine energy in the masculine space. I do get this sense that this divine masculine that this spread is specifically catered to is a divine masculine that's really struggling with his own battles, whether they're karmic or other issues that he has in terms of why he's not able to commit, why he's not able to cross over and show up. And I feel that this divine masculine is having an emotional explosion and having some big revelations, and we're going to see more of that as I go through the cards. And he's being asked to surrender, or they, I should say, right? They are being asked to surrender, to have a sense of radical acceptance and to be more free flowing. So, I always think of that full moon as a woman, as the earth mother spirit, very, nurturing and explosive and full of a birth of new ideas, new beginnings. And so I'm really seeing a lot of this beautiful feminine energy, this emotional power coming in for the divine masculine. And we've been seeing this all year, where the divine masculine is really picking up on a lot more feminine energy and getting more in touch with their femininity. And this is as like a human collective, outside of the twin flame journey. I really am seeing a lot of shifting of that balance of masculine and feminine, or patriarch and matriarch. So then with the divine feminine, we have this big calling out to be bold and brave and to make the first move, and it's accompanied with this dream the world into being. And so what I'm getting for the divine feminine this week is not only do I feel that the divine feminine in this reading is specifically catered to, has always been, kind of plugging away at self-development or self-love or mission work or new beginnings or starting new careers. Like, this divine feminine is incredibly inspired. And we are going to kind of take a look at what's holding her back. I do sense that there's this hint in the heart space of the divine feminine of a little tiny inkling of fear accompanied with anger towards their divine counterpart of, if I move too far ahead, like, are they going to think that I don't love them anymore? Am I going to not be a twin flame anymore? Like, there's all these kind of fears and doubts that the divine feminine is like kind of being nagged with. And again, we're going to see more of this as I go through the reading. And the divine feminine is being inspired to just go, anything that you've been waiting to do or hesitating on doing, follow your intuition, put some power of belief in your dreams and make that dream be a reality. And yes, I do feel this is very specifically towards some sort of career or hobby or some other goal that has nothing to do with being in union. It has everything to do with you. And I know that you're all there already. Like, I already know that the audience I'm talking to is like, yeah, Desiree, I figured that part out. So, we'll get deeper into that as we move on. So for the cards, I pulled a dark, a light, and an accomplishment. So the dark is the challenge, okay? And for the divine masculine, we're seeing 5 of Swords with card 33, Dress of Alchemy, release your power. And for the divine feminine, we're seeing King of Swords with card 3, See Beacon Fairy, guidance, but where will it lead you? So again, there's those 3s. I always associate 3s with union or moving towards union. So I really do feel that, we're always moving in that general direction. And, I do plan on releasing some videos where I just kind of talk about ideas and philosophies in connection with the twin flame relationship, whether or not union is in the physical or not, has questions that have come up for me. So I do want to address those, and I'm not going to get into it here. I'm going to move forward with this challenge. So the 5 of Swords is like defeat, bickering, severing ties. And the dress of alchemy is like releasing fear, guilt, envy, jealousy, releasing toxic relationships. Okay. And I'm getting chills on that. This is what and this is what I was mentioning, is I really do feel that this divine masculine is struggling specifically with this karmic tying of the toxic karmic. And I do think that the toxic karmic is that false twin, because I look at my toxic karmic that I was dating prior to meeting my twin as a false twin, because I did think that he was the one, and I was in this state of illusion about it. And I did finally get some insight and clarity after meeting my twin flame. I finally got some perspective on how toxic and sick the relationship was, and I feel that this is what is being gifted to the divine masculine. And I feel that all the divine feminines have already figured that out. They've already done that too. So to me, this is a big, big sign of growth for the divine masculine. I do think that it's like, get rid of the toxic relationships are very much this weird bickering of like jealousy and envy, and you did this and I did that, and you should have done this, and you were never there for me, and it's like this on and on and on, ongoing sick, unhealthy relationship. And a lot of the times these divine masculines, and it can be more than that, but these divine masculines tend to be, deal with other issues of guilt about, like, if I'm a man, especially if they have children involved, like if I'm a man, I need to show up as a husband, whatever kind of bitch my wife is, or whatever kind of bitch my husband is, right? But like, I feel like a lot of the divine masculines have this strange sense of obligation where they feel like they can't leave, okay? And so the challenge that they're experiencing is that the toxicity is getting monumental, and there's this push from the spirit to cut those cords and to move on from that experience. The divine feminine has this King of Swords, and I immediately was like, well, that is the divine masculine, right? Stubborn, authoritative, judgmental, self-righteous, and this is the divine feminine's challenge. And then the sea beacon fairy is, there is some guidance here. There is a perfect solution available to you, but you must be patient, and you must wait and check with both your inner and your outer guidance system, because what I'm seeing for the divine feminine is this opportunity to move deeper into the direction of their dreams. And there's still, this is what I was mentioning, where I feel like the divine feminine is still haunted by their divine masculine, and there is this weird almost toxic energy, because if the divine masculine is in a karmic relationship and they are also pursuing their divine feminine, then that isn't healthy either, right? But it's not to say that it's wrong. Here we go with that dark and light, right? So yeah, I feel like there's some guidance, there's some light in the tunnel here for the divine feminine. I feel like she's being asked to kind of take a look at, or they, I always say she, the divine feminine is being asked to take a look at the way that they perceive their divine masculine, the way that they perceive their father energy, and basically the way that the divine feminine perceives male role models in general. And this is really deep, actually. Yeah, so I'm getting a lot of channeling on spirit where the divine feminine is struggling in a much more conscious way with these concepts of masculine and feminine, of right and wrong, of being in the good as opposed to being in the bad. There's a lot in there. There's a lot in there. I feel like I could go on and on about that, actually. But what makes you perfect? What makes you good? What makes you better? Are you better? What are you better? Why are you better? These are questions that really require a lot of deep thought and introspection. And this is what's going on with the divine feminine in terms of her dark energy, the challenge that's happening this week. So then we move on into the light, or the gift that is happening this week. And the Divine Masculine has the 7 of Wands with card 41, which is a 5, Nautilus Princess, powerful personal growth. The Divine Feminine has 8 of Wands with card 22, double twos, Voodoo in Blue, back off. Really interesting that both the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine in the dark and the light have the same minor arcana card of the swords in the dark and the wands in the light. You know, the swords is very mental challenge. The wands is very creative, inspired challenge. And I do connect the wands with our intuition and our higher consciousness as well. But fire energy, yeah. And then we got the double 22 for the Divine Feminine in this set, and the Divine Masculine got the double 33. So in the dark set. So the 7 of Wands is talking about like challenge, competition, persistence, and recognizing their self-worth, right? This is really big, right? So the light, so the dark is this emotional toxic relationship conflict, okay? The light is like, how valuable are you? And this is where I was getting into, where the Divine Masculine may be rigid, may be stubborn. They may be all these things that the Divine Feminine is perceiving them as in the dark experience. But they are also timid and sweet and fearful of expressing themselves. And so we're seeing this like 7 of Wands talking about like you are being challenged and being asked to dig deeper into yourself. And again, we're gonna, go back to that surrender from the moth spirit as her overall energy. And the Nautical Princess is talking about this powerful personal growth. Like your character, your Divine Masculine characteristic might be slightly timid when it comes to conflict, in terms of if they're married or whatever's going on in their life. They might be slightly appeasing, like wanting to kind of just seek the quickest solution to stop the fighting, to stop the discomfort, right? To just accommodate. What do I need to do to get you to shut up? What do I need to do to get this to stop, right? And so the Divine Masculine is having this opportunity to recognize that they are worth something. And I'm getting emotional about that. I feel like there's, so much sadness in the Divine Masculine. The Divine Masculine really does feel, and this isn't across the board, okay, just in terms of this reading and what I'm picking up on, it really does feel like a failure. It kind of has this like mantra of, it's too late for me. I can't change the way things are. This is the way things are. Like, I feel the Divine Masculine feels incredibly defeated and is getting this light energy of, you're worth more than this. You deserve love. We're going to grant you some insight on some powerful personal growth steps that you can take in terms of, standing up for yourself, of standing up for what you believe in, to believe that it is not too late, that you can always change your life. And I feel that this could show up in the form of a teacher or a guide for the Divine Masculine. And Spirit just wants me to really mention briefly here that Divine Feminines, if you're watching this video and you're feeling all this sympathy for your Divine Masculine or empathy, don't assume that it's your job to take care of them, okay? And we're going to get into the Divine Feminine cards right now. So the Divine Feminine has the 8 of Wands with the Voodoo in Blue. And the 8 of Wands is talking about travel, expansion, being on the move. Good news is coming. Like, this is so much connected to this. Be bold and make the first move. Follow your dreams. There's change on the horizon. Like, you might be moving. You might be taking a trip. This is like, I feel like there's so much good stuff coming for the Divine Feminine. And Spirit's like, celebrate. And guess what this Voodoo in Blue is? It is saying back off, right? And it's saying release any toxic relationships, any toxic ties. And I'm getting chills on the right side of my arm. This is very much, what I was picking up on while I was channeling the reading for the Divine Masculine in the light. Like, if your divine masculine is, is going through this and you're like resonating with this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I should be that teacher. I should be that guide. I should go offer them a helping hand and tell them that they're worth it. You probably already have. Okay. And Spirit doesn't want you to go backwards right now. Spirit wants you to move forward and stay in that path of growth and expansion. You're just really blossoming, and this is your time, and you should celebrate it. You deserve it. Your divine masculine will find their way, okay? And it's not your job right now, and that's your gift. So celebrate, and make sure to cut that back off energy. Is like, cut those toxic ties. This might not even be your divine masculine, although that's the strongest, loudest message I'm getting from it. It could be, any kind of relationship or friendship in your life. Anybody that's like a naysayer to your dreams, anybody that's asking you so many questions that you're starting to second guess your passion, no, you just need to not necessarily destroy the relationship. Just maybe don't talk to them until you're getting some momentum in your dream and you're pursuing it and you're feeling more confident. When I first started to do YouTube videos, I had so many naysayers around me being like, how are you gonna make money doing that? Blah, 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 blah. You can't listen to that. You've got to follow your passion. And if you're passionate about it, abundance, success will come. Period. End of story. Because you're showing up with abundant energy. You're showing up with joy. You're doing what you love, and trust that everything else will follow. Yeah. So then we go to the accomplishment for this week. And the divine masculine has 7 of swords and 19 Amara, the Menuhune. Forgive me if I said that wrong for those of you that know how to say it right. Aloha healing, which is a 10, right? Card 19 is a 10. And then the divine feminine has 2 of cups and 15 mildew fairy cleanup time, which is a 6. So the 7 of swords is all about sabotage, deception, and manipulation. Okay. So I feel that this is definitely suggesting that the divine masculine that's been being challenged, when we look at that dark energy of this conflict and all these emotional upsurge that's happening for them, they're finally getting their eyes opened to the manipulation that's happening in their toxic relationship. They're finally starting to see very clearly the truth about it, right? And they're healing from it. Aloha healing. Very much water energy. It's connected to health, like eating healthy, treating your body better, loving yourself, so I'm very much feeling like the divine masculine is going to have some sort of accomplishment this week in terms of figuring more out and what is holding them back from living life to their greatest good and highest joy. And I see, to me, this energy is so feminine, this personal growth energy, this, releasing your power and letting go of toxic relationships and having a little bit of healing and eating better and nurturing. So I do see this divine masculine getting kind of a little bit of up level in their self-esteem and their self-worth, realizing that it's never too late. I really am seeing some positive growth for the divine masculine this week. And whether or not that means coming into union, right? This is a wonderful thing just in general, because ideally, right, when the divine masculine is in a state of recognizing their self-worth and is in a space of, showing up for themselves and following their passion, then their divine counterpart, providing that the divine feminine, is also doing that. That's how you come in together, right? So then for the divine feminine, we have 2 of cups and 15 mildew fairy. We all know the 2 of cups is harmony and balance and compromise, right? And traditionally, when I'm not using the zombie tarot, we see the 2 of cups as the lovers coming into union, and that's what we associate it with. But here, this week, for the accomplishment of the week for the divine feminine, I'm seeing it as resonating with or finding harmony with the dark and the light, which is the challenge of this new moon in Scorpio coming up. And I really do encourage the divine feminines to kind of re-listen to the first two cards that I read about the dark energy with the King of Swords and the Sea Beacon Fairy, because there really is a lot of clarity that can be achieved when we get very deep within ourselves and free ourselves of judging others on every end of the spectrum. You know, if you're a vegan and you hate all meat eaters, like, that's kind of self-righteous. You know, if you're a yogi and you hate everybody that doesn't meditate, you know, that's kind of a self-righteous, right? And I say that because I'm a yogi, but I don't ever judge people that don't do yoga. You know, I think yoga is the answer for sure. Just like vegans believe that being vegan is the answer. I mean, we all have our belief systems that we are very passionate about. But are you letting it affect the way you treat other people, the way that you interact with other people, the way that you live your life? Are you harvesting some sort of anger or resentment about people not being what you want them to be or what you expect them to be? Or, you know, and, you know, this goes also deeper with male and female roles in our lives and how we perceive them to be as well. I mean, it's not an easy topic, obviously. I'm just scratching the surface here. And then the mildew fairy is all about cleanup time, like releasing stagnant energy. So, you know, we see here in the light for the Divine Feminine, she's got that voodoo and blue, the back off energy. We're seeing her cut cords. We're seeing her release things. We're seeing the Divine Feminine have like some clarity on and perspective of this dark and light. And so I'm seeing this cleanup time is like letting go of all those judgments, letting go of any hate or any opinions or expectations, and sweeping it out the door and breathing in some fresh air and allowing yourself to move forward as a lighter, happier, loving person to yourself and to those around you. But we start here. Yeah, we know that. Okay, so for our final guidance message, I pulled from the Divine Feminine, or the Divine Feminine Oracle, and I received Saint Bridget, Our Lady of Exalted Light. I give endlessly because the light is without end. My soul is all I need. And I'm going to read for the book on this one because I just think it's so beautiful and appropriate, especially after what I just concluded with. Saint Bridget lived in alignment with the highest, most exalted aspect of her being. She was born a slave, and yet legend relates that she gave away anything she possibly could to help those in need. Her generosity was an indication of the tremendous inner wealth she received from her connection to spirit. Her message to us is to reconnect to that inner fire, the eternal flame that feeds us more than anything eternal to us ever could. Read poetry or whatever feels like sacred scripture to your soul. Let your soul voice surface through some uncensored automatic writing, or let your soul guide your body through movement. Your answers right now are in releasing any attachments to personal possessions, clearing space, uncluttering your home, giving away what you don't need or someone needs more than you do, so that you have the sacred space to remember just how much you have when your soul is loud and ever present within you. The soul voice meditation is, what can I clear out of my space that no longer resonates with me? How appropriate, right? We had the cleanup time. We had the back off, like cutting toxic relationships. We have like the Sea Beacon Fairy with some guidance that we need to kind of wade our way through. I feel like, you know, if we're always in our heart and we're in this space of being of service, that we will be rewarded 10 times fold, over and over and over again. But yeah, clear some space, get rid of things you don't need. I've been feeling that too. And I've also been feeling like upping to another level of service somehow. And I'm put myself open to spirit with that. Like, I'm open to whatever opportunities spirit wants to provide in another way that I can be of service to others. And I just love being of service. And I know you do too. And I I am incredibly optimistic to be able to get more on track with being consistent, showing up week after week for you. I hope you enjoyed this twin flame reading. If you're not already subscribed, please click the subscribe button below. And if you hit that bell, you'll get the notifications every time I release a video. And if you like this video, please like it too. And I love you, and I hope you have an amazing and safe Halloween. And yeah, don't forget, if you're a Patreon or you want to be, don't forget to show up for Halloween's live November overview of the twin flame journey. I love you. Mwah.